One of the very best things about owning a house is having the ability to make it your own. And today we're about to meet a wonderful couple who have taken a tiny house and truly turned it into a home. Hey Deborah, how are you?
Hi Bryce, nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you. G'day Joel, how are you mate?
Yeah, well, how are you, Bryce?
Very well, thank you. And I am so excited to see your beautiful tiny home here.
We're very proud.
As you should be. And what was it that inspired you to build a tiny house?
I had always been interested in tiny houses. I really liked miniatures and things when I was young, and I made my own little clay models. I'd also been really interested in downsizing and minimalism. I'd done a lot of traveling, so I was used to culling everything, living out of a suitcase. I don't really remember how I got onto tiny houses. I think I just accidentally found a video and then watched more and more and became more interested. And it started out being an interest in just the experience of living in a tiny house, and then as I got older and understood more about the market, especially in New Zealand, it became much more a financial decision.
Yeah, and this was our only option, so.
Yeah.
And did you take any convincing to go tiny? Because it sounds like it was kind of Deborah that was pushing for it.
Oh, well, I've always loved design. I've, always been interested in space-saving ideas and, so no, once Deb told me about it, I was fully in.
And it's really hard when you don't own your own home to feel comfortable setting things up that take time to pack down. That was a big part of knowing that we were finally going to have a place that was our own, hang a picture up and it could stay there.
And this home is just so beautiful. Can you tell me a little bit about the design?
We went through multiple different ideas about designs. We watched a lot, like some obscene number of hours of videos and looked at plans.
Many of your videos.
Many of yours. We've had a lot of help from Joel's parents. Kevin, his father, built this deck for us because it's free, it's made out of pallets. And in the summer we wanted to have a barbecue area so that we could cook and eat outside. And I had always found it hard flatting, not having a garden. I really, really wanted a garden. And so finally we had our own space, and so we wanted to have trees and flowers and vegetables. So that's been a big draw card for us for having a tiny house.
And with this home, are you grid connected or are you off the grid?
We're partially on and off, so we're connected to the
Mains power.
But then we've got 2 water tanks.
5,000 litres each, which collect off our roof.
And what size is the tiny house?
So it's 8 metres long by 2.4 wide, so all within the towing regulations.
And the parking spot you have here really is quite idyllic. You've got a beautiful view. I see you've even got some chickens running around there. Can you tell me a little bit about how you came to be on this land?
We're parked on my parents' land. They were loving enough to let us park here for free. And yeah, so we also get the use of their full veggie garden and all the free eggs we can steal as well.
Fantastic. Well, the house is just so charming from the outside, and I cannot wait to see what you've done on the interior. Can we take a look?
Yeah, sure.
All right, after you. Oh, I absolutely love what you've done in here. This place is just so filled with character.
I have tried to buy a little something in every place that I've gone and just carefully wrapped them. Yeah, I go for lots of colour and detail, so it's quite a colourful house.
It certainly is, and I just think that adds so much character and vibrancy to the place. It just feels good to stand in here.
It's our happy place.
Yeah.
And I love this chest that you have here by the door.
This was my grandfather's chest that he brought over from England, I believe.
And then the ones up in the loft are the ones that Deborah's dad took back to England when he went in the 60s by boat.
Well, you always need more storage in a tiny house, and being able to combine storage with an heirloom is just so good. And I see you've even got some bunting on the walls. That just adds a lot of character, doesn't it?
Yeah, I really love bunting, and that's our bunting from our wedding, in fact, when we decorated the church that we got married in.
Fantastic. Again, you can really just tell how much of your characters you've built into this home. And I see you've called the home Guinevere. That's got to have a story.
Yeah, from the movie Onward, the older brother, he drives a van, and the van's name is Guinevere, so we were watching it, and we just looked at each other, and we're like, is that the name of our tiny house?
Now, you had the tiny house designed as a shell, but you've done all of the interior design by yourselves, haven't you?
Yes, we have. So we sanded it all back and whitewashed it all. The reason why we whitewashed it was so it made it look bigger, but also so our things that we hung on the wall could actually pop as well.
And they certainly do pop. And then over here we have your lounge, and this is just such a fun and colourful looking space.
Yeah, we've been through various iterations of trying to design how we wanted the lounge to work, because in a small space, I think we'd practiced living in a small space in our previous houses, but it's never the same once you're actually in it. And so it took a long time to find a couch that would fit in such a small area and fit everything in, but we've come to a place where we really like it and it doesn't feel cluttered.
And I think just the way that you've laid this room out is really good as well, because it really does just create a cozy and very enclosed feeling.
Initially, we had it open to the rest of the house because we thought that that would be really good for hosting people. But actually, we've found it feels really nice being able to move through this small area and then feel like you're in a new area, snuggle up on the couch and be in a defined space as the lounge.
And the couch looks like it just perfectly fits in here too.
This was a really lucky find. I spent hours and hours looking online for a couch that would fit, which is quite difficult for a tiny house. So when we got the couch, it was just a pull-out bed, and so I pulled out all of the bed bit, unscrewed it, and we got rid of that, and I turned the pull-out area into a large drawer for storing all of our games and things.
What a good design. You can see there's lots of storage in here, lots of practical features, but as well, just lots of room to display all of your wonderful artwork.
Yeah, we have a lot of artwork. I also have a cushion fetish, so I have lots of cushions that we wanted to display, lots of teddies and lots of sort of trinkets from our travels that we wanted to be able to decorate the house with. So this has been the main area that we've focused on displaying those.
And the hutch here is a beautiful feature too.
Yeah, I spent a long time looking for hutches that would fit in the tiny house because they needed to be really small, and I wanted one with a glass panel on it so that I could display my grandmother's china.
And then what do we have in the loft above us here?
This is my loft. So I'm doing a Master of Applied Social Work this year, and so we knew when we were designing the house that I would need a dedicated area to study for the next 2 years. So we asked the builder to make this into an adapted office space. So I have a desk in the office that's built into the wall, and then I sit on the floor. We've made a chair to sit with no legs on the floor, and then my legs drop down into a well that goes into the lounge. And then I've got all of my storage area on the desk that goes all the way along the wall.
What a clever design. And then over here we have your kitchen, and what a great looking kitchen this is.
Yeah, thank you. We pot all of this kitchen in ourselves, did all the plumbing and did the tile work on the other side as well.
And just by looking at this kitchen, I can tell that you are a couple who love to cook.
Yes, I definitely like to cook, and Deborah likes to eat. We work well together.
You certainly do. And I can see that you've even got a menu up there on the fridge. Are you actually that organised with your meals?
We try to be that organised with the meals. Plus, Deborah likes to know what I'm cooking that night, so we write that up on a Sunday night normally.
Geez, aren't you good? And can you tell me about the design of the kitchen?
Yeah, so it's a galley-style kitchen, and everything is heat-proof because we've got the stainless steel on one side and the tiles on the other side, so we don't need to burn our benches. We've also got our full-size appliances in there because that was something I wasn't willing to compromise on.
And I can see you've built a lot of storage into this kitchen too.
Yeah, storage is very important in a kitchen. All of our food is in the storage stairs here, but we've also got our most important thing, which is our coffee machine.
Oh, very nice.
We DIY'd it all ourselves, so, we're very proud about that.
And the way that you've laid out the kitchen, it really does look very practical, and certainly like two people could work in there comfortably together.
Yeah, for sure. Deb and I have made many meals for our friends and family, both working hard in here.
And to match, we've got this charming dining table here too.
I found that on Marketplace. It was very hard to find a table that fits in a tiny house that isn't a foldable table, but we wanted something really sturdy so that people, when they come over and have a meal with us, don't have to worry about kicking a leg and breaking the table. So this works perfectly so that there's still space to move into the kitchen.
And I notice around the home you have a lot of pictures of bees. That's got to have a story.
My name, Deborah, means bee, and so when I was really little, my mum always bought me honey and bee themed foods and gifts, and so I've always loved bees, and so I decided to incorporate the bee theme into the house.
And then I'm guessing behind the door there we have your bathroom.
Yeah, we sure do.
Great, can we take a look?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, now this is a seriously funky bathroom.
I really wanted a beach-themed bathroom, and Joel agreed, and so we tried to gather all sorts of beach ideas. So there's a beach-themed painting as you enter the bathroom and the outside in the kitchen, and then you come in here, and we wanted sort of a peaceful blue on the walls, and we found a combi toilet roll holder on our honeymoon.
I love that.
It lived in a box for 2 years, but we were determined to keep it so that it would have pride of place in the bathroom. And we have collected little things like we have a shell to hold our soap, and we really wanted a porthole mirror. And so that kind of draws your eye in as you come into the bathroom as well and makes it feel a little bit bigger.
I love what you've done in this room. It's very fun, it's very quirky, but also very practical and functional. I like how you've got all of this shelving up here as well, and nice to see the composting toilet there too.
Yeah, this is the Nature's Head, and we've really enjoyed using it. There's no smell, and we've taught our visitors to use it, and it's been fine.
And then upstairs we have your sleeping loft.
Yes, we do.
Very cool. Can we check that out?
Yeah, sure thing.
Righto, after you. Oh, this loft is just too cute. I really love what you've done on the ceiling here.
Yeah, we had seen on other tiny house videos people had put fairy lights in the ceiling, and I was like, oh, we have to do that too. So I bought and whitewashed a trellis from Mitre 10 and stuck it to the ceiling with a whole lot of fairy lights on it.
Fantastic. It just looks so good. And I love that you've even got matching Barney the Dinosaur teddies up here. They have to have a story.
Yes, we didn't know when we got together that we both had a Barney, and then after we got married, we unpacked all our stuff, and I was like, oh, you have a Barney. I have a Barney.
Just shows it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am a big fan of the disproportionate size of the house compared to the teddies in here as well. That's just so cool.
We both brought quite a few teddies into the marriage.
Including a really giant bull teddy over there.
Yes, his name's Carlos. I won him from a local cafe, and now he has pride of place up in Deborah's office.
And now I really like the design in here. It's very tidy how you've got the clothing storage on the end wall over there, and just the whole loft feels very cozy.
Yeah, I spent a long time trying to work out how we were going to store our clothes in the tiny house, because easy access is really important, especially when you're in a loft and you have to reach across a bed. So eventually we found that cubby holes with little boxes was the best way to go. And for hanging clothes, we've also got this standing wardrobe.
And it's nice that you've got the step down feature here in the loft as well.
Yeah, that was really important, that we can, stand full height up here while we're getting dressed or, about to climb into bed.
And you guys are just too cute. You've even got your little lovebirds up here.
Yeah, we're #couple goals.
You sure are. And so how long have you been living in the tiny house now?
About a year.
And would you say that living in the tiny house is meeting your expectations?
I think we weren't really sure what to expect. I think it's never the same as what you think it will be. We're at that stage of life where we really wanted our own space, and this has totally fulfilled that. A place that feels warm and you can just relax here and not worry about anyone else coming in. And living in this house is financially far less pressured than flatting. And because I'm studying, we're living on one income, and so it just means that we have more income and more time to invest in the things that we like.
Yeah, and we definitely have our own spaces, so if we ever have a little tiz, I get sent down to the lounge or up to our room.
Even with #couple goals.
Yeah.
And can we talk about the cost that was involved in bringing this home to life?
Yeah, we paid the builder $117,000. And then to completion, it came to $130,000.
And now that the home is complete and you're all moved in, what does the future hold for you both?
At the moment, we are on Joel's parents' land, but the goal ultimately would be to buy our own land. And we've been looking into a second tiny house joined by a deck, just for a bit more space.
Yeah, Guinevere 2.0.
I think after years of moving and flatting and packing and living out of a suitcase, you just come to the point where you're tired of it and you just want your own space, and I became quite desperate for that, just a sense of permanency and safety. So this is my place now where I was able to unpack everything, it all had its place, and I knew I didn't have to constantly be thinking about the next move.
I just really love that this is ours. You know, we own this place and it's our little slice of heaven.
Well, this home really is just so beautiful. You've filled it with so much wonderful character, and I'm sure this is going to be a wonderful home for both of you for a long time to come. Thank you both so much for sharing it with me.
Thank you, Bryce.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure. I really love what Deborah and Joel have created here with this home. This is a place that's just filled with so much fun and quirky memorabilia that really makes it feel so warm and welcoming. And ultimately, what this couple have done is they have taken a house and truly turned it into a home.